else will break your heart. I'm never gonna hold you back. I'm always gonna have your back. So try to remember.
Good morning, beautiful people. Or hello, good day. Whatever it is, wherever you are. My text keeps going off, which is not working. Okay, so hello, happy December 13th. I am Bobby the Awesome, and we are going to do our reading here in just a second. I thought I would give you a little update on how my first formal speaking engagement went yesterday, because it's really funny. A little bit of attitude was on my agenda unintentionally, and I figured I'd let you know what happened and how I talked myself out of it. So there was a lot of speakers at this event, and what the people holding the summit did was they decided that some people were going to speak individually and they'd have almost 20 minutes by themselves, and then other people would speak on a panel, was what they called it. So then you were splitting the same 25 minutes. And I got selected to be on a panel with someone who I didn't know and wasn't given any real guidance on how to prepare. And this group, like, we all learned the same format. Most of us speakers in our class, we've learned a certain way that we're supposed to present. And I didn't think that opportunity was there for this event. Anyway, I had prepared slides. I had done, put some work into what I was going to say. The topic, by the way, was how recovery has impacted me being a business person, an entrepreneurial business person. And as long as I get in front of people and get to talk about gambling awareness, it's a good day, right? So I show up after, playing with my slides, reworking things so that it tied into some of the content of the conference. And I get in what they called the green room. And the first thing the lady says is, okay, so for your thing, there'll be no slides. And I'm like, and the time wasn't updated as far as I could see. So it looked like we were only going to have 15 minutes between the two of us. And I'll be honest, I was getting a little pissy, and she could see like the disappointment or frustration in my face. I'm not exactly sure what my face was, but it was not pretty. She's like, do you want me to pass along the feedback? And I'm like, no, because I couldn't change anything in that moment. And here I was about to go on, and I'm supposed to be all sunshine and rainbows and be my best self in front of people. And it was really starting to frustrate me. In hindsight, I should have remembered that emotions only last 3.5 seconds or whatever that is. But I knew that I had to go on there. I knew that I couldn't change it, right? This is my recovery and my gratitude principles jumping into place. And I literally turned on I Hope You're Happy, our song, and danced for like 2 minutes and tried to snap out of it. And it went okay. I mean, I stumbled, but what the heck? I stumble with you guys all the time, right? I'm a stumbler, and that's okay. I've only been trying to do this for a year. Think about how much practice it takes to get anything done and done well. And when you're talking about different environments and different things, of course it takes lots of practice. So the moral of the story is we can change our attitude to gratitude by talking ourselves out of it, by trying to be a little humble and not let ego take over, by dancing it out, by having a conversation with ourselves about being rational. And those were some of the things I did yesterday. So I thought I would share that. And then the bummer was, and this, I feel like this is my fault, and I'm trying to get over this too. My mother missed the talk, and I should have tested the technology with her earlier in the day. It hadn't even really occurred to me. I'm like, oh, she's a Facebook user. She'll figure it out. And they put us on early. And again, all kinds of things I couldn't control. I should have done a better job of coaching her through it just to make sure she was good. So I kind of blew it. And again, I can't change it. I'm sorry. I feel bad, and I'll get her the recording. But that was my little lesson from yesterday. Now that's over, and now we move on to other things going on in the world. So let's get into today's reading. William James says, Believe that life is worth living, and your belief will help create the fact. Ooh, this is cool. This kind of already aligns with what I learned in the Miracle Challenge this morning. Okay, here we go. We have a choice today. We can look at our lives as drudgery and the tasks before us as painful and hopeless, or we can choose to take the high road. We change a lot in recovery. We have decided that sobriety is better than active addiction. This decision itself is our affirmation that life is worth living. Now we are not only beginning to see the real value in ourselves and our lives, we are starting to add to that value. We feel and share our feelings now. We have friends who care about our struggles. We have hope, and we have a higher power helping us feel at home in the universe. These are all tangible results of a simple belief that life has more to it than pain and the denial of addiction. Each time we act on this belief, we add more to our lives. When we do simple, caring things for ourselves, like going for a walk, taking time for a long bath, or for communing with our higher power, we place ourselves more squarely in our new lives. By growing spiritually, we enhance not only our own joy, but the joy of those around us. Today, help me create another layer of happiness in my life by taking time for myself. Okay, that didn't go where I thought it was going to go, but I'll tell you anyway what they said in the challenge this morning, the Miracle Challenge, was our homework, our assignment today. And if you care to do it, I think this is a beautiful exercise. But our assignment is we have to write I am affirmations, because and they have to be positive and powerful and, deliberate. And the way he explained it to us is that when we say I am, I'm giving you the very abridged version, but essentially when we say I am, because he calls it the spirit world or whatever he calls it, doesn't know time, when we say it, it's true. And he used the example, I am a billionaire. So billionaire, it doesn't know if your bank account is zero or billions, because there's no association with time. Just saying I am a billionaire, using the words I am are very powerful. And I don't know if you caught it, but I said I am Bobby the Awesome this morning instead of Bobby the Awesome here, because I'm okay affirming that I'm Bobby the Awesome. It's a good reminder. It's part of why I announce myself on the show that way, is so that I keep believing it, so I can keep moving forward on the days that I'm scared or tired or stressed or whatever the things are. And I'm going to work really hard at trying to not say things like I'm tired, I'm stressed, I'm whatever, and focus on being, I am grateful, I am happy, I am amazing, I am strategic, I am all the things that'll keep me moving so that I can help the most people. Okay, so back to the reading, to what their real nugget is. So it starts off with, we have a choice today. So this is our perspective, right? The perspective between positive and negative. We can look at our lives as drudgery and tasks as painful and hopeless, or we can take the high road. It's funny because I just said high road to someone in a conversation before I got on here, and it helps. When we were having this conversation, I was explaining that I'd given someone advice to take the high road, and she did, and it was successful. And it wasn't about the other people. It was about her feeling better and her feeling connected. And I think she's glad she took the high road. So that was kind of the point of the conversation. And that's what I would recommend to you guys, like hanging on to things that other people do or things that have happened. Sometimes we take the high road or have to, even though we don't want to. Like, wouldn't it be wonderful if people just told us all the time that we were right? Guess what? It's not going to happen. So we have to take the high road, and that can mean different things to different people. But I will tell you, whatever it is that you're taking the high road on, chances are you're going to be better for it, and you're going to feel better for it. And that's really what's important. It's not about the other person needing to apologize or do the thing. It's really about how you feel inside. And I think you'll feel much better having gratitude and, living the high road versus continuing the attitude and setting expectations around other people and letting their actions impact you. So once we've decided to quit gambling, it's basically an affirmation that our life is worth living. And that's very true, right? We know we're on a path of crazy ass destruction when we're gambling. We might not admit it to ourselves, but we know on some level, we know it's dangerous. We know it's harmful. We know that we're destroying our lives, but we also don't feel like we can get away from it in those times. The next part of the reading talks about seeing the value in ourselves and our lives, and then adding to that value by being open, by having relationships with friends, by connecting to your higher power, or your spirituality, whatever that looks like. And it says here that those are results of believing that life has more to do than just pain and addiction. And I hope that everyone out there believes that, or is starting to believe that, or is open to believing that, because it's true. And that's pretty much my whole platform, right? I could have been in jail or dead or in a mental institution because of gambling, but instead I'm here and living my best life. And that's really what it's all about. When we do simple caring things for ourselves, like going for a walk or taking time for a long bath, we place ourselves squarely in our new lives. So reaffirming that behavior, those things that make us feel good, taking care of ourselves. By growing spiritually, we enhance not only our own joy, but the joy of those around us. And that's true. And I think, to put it into perspective for you, this miracle challenge, really what it's about, it's not about religion. It's not about any of that, even though he's so respectful and so mindful about addressing that people have religious beliefs, but it's really about feeling good and believing in who we are. And he called out this morning that 85-90% of the talk in our head is negative self-talk. And that's why we have to write a list of our affirmations to try to break that cycle of self-talk. And it's going to be hard when we first quit, right? Like, we have so much regret. There's so much guilt, shame, obligation, hopelessness. Like, there's all these things. And it's real easy to beat ourselves up for what we've done in the past. And I'm here to remind you that you can't change the past. You can only change the future. And you might as well start living your best life now. Like, why not? What would be the point of dwelling in it? It just perpetuates the cycle and does more harm. So there's really no logical point to staying in it. Today helped me create another layer of happiness in my life by taking time for myself. So this is my conundrum today, guys. And I still haven't sorted it out. So I've been freezing all night. I did not sleep well, and I bounced, and electric blanket on, electric blanket off. I was just a hot mess all night. And I moved to the couch around 7, and I finally was like, why the hell don't I just turn the heat on? Okay. So this is another perspective. My cheap mentality has always been very frugal about the power bill. Like, I take great pride in the fact that it always says I'm using less energy than my neighbors. I don't have lights on when I'm not in the room. I'm just frugal. And I think it comes with my wacky old school mentality of, if I was paying the electric bill, I didn't have money to gamble. It doesn't make any sense. I mean, really, but so I finally decided to turn the heat on, and then I decided to go for coffee, and I layered up. I had my pajamas on, and then I threw sweat pants and a sweatshirt over my pajamas, and then another coat. And I go outside, and I had started my car up, and it's freaking beautiful out. It feels warm. And I don't know if it was because I was just so weird about the temperature or whatever. And I decide, well, it's warm, it's beautiful, it's December. It doesn't, and by warm, I mean it's in the 40s. To put it in perspective, Fahrenheit 40s. I don't know what that translates into Celsius, even though I should, now that I'm very international, or trying to get more internationally seasoned. At any rate, I want to go golfing now. Like, I just want to go golfing. But I told my neighbor I would take her dog. I still have to do my homework from the miracle stuff this morning. I want to finish my to-do list that I didn't finish last night. And then going through my head, I'm like, well, the last 3 weekends I've done conferences, like literally the last 3 weekends. So if you add that to my weekdays, I pretty much haven't had a day off since I got back. And I don't even know that I really had a whole lot of full days off when I was traveling. So that's my conundrum. And my girlfriend, the first text that went off was about, do I want to go walk to the farmer's market? So I want to do all the things. I want to visit the dog. I want to go golfing. I want to do my homework. I want to get stuff done. And I have to figure that out. I don't know what I'm going to do. So that's my conundrum. But here's the coolest part of this. I have freaking options, right? There used to be no option. I just talked to my uncle a little while ago, and he was telling me that they went to the casino, and there wasn't a lot of people there, and there was a lot of room, and it was kind of different, right? Because casinos are generally hustling and bustling. And yeah, I know this sounds like a wacky conversation, but he's definitely a normal gambler, and he was definitely one of the people who called me out for being an addict way back in my early 20s in a polite way, but he knew all along. So he was talking about how calm it was and everything, and I think about that would have been the only place I would have been in my old life. I wouldn't have had options about fresh air with golf or walking to a farmer's market and supporting local business and hanging with my friend and getting my steps in, or taking care of someone else's dog, or getting work done. I wouldn't have been thinking about any of those things. So what about all those options that I have now? I mean, there was a period in my life where every Sunday, the only thing I lived for was to go play poker. And I would go to this back alley of a bar and play poker and lose my paycheck every week. And I thought that was fun. It's not fun. It's funner to go golfing and to connect with people, like having a nice conversation with my uncle. And yeah, so keep that in mind today, guys. And I am going to say, do some homework, write down some affirmations. I have to write a whole page. That's my homework for the challenge. But I want you to start somewhere. Even if you started with just 3. I am, and then fill in the blank. And maybe you're not convinced you're that way today, but write it as if you are. I am healthy. I am helpful. I am a great leader. I am a loving husband. I am I don't know. There's lots of them. I'm drawing a blank right now. I haven't written my list. Maybe once I get more involved in that. But whatever it is, just start with 3. If you want to write a whole page, I encourage you to do that. But start with 3. I'm okay with that. All right, beautiful people. Have a fantastic day. I will talk to you soon. Thank you for being here.